Hi, folks. Welcome to this week's Midweek Reflections. Last week it was my colleague Martin Fair who spoke to you, and this week I'm delighted to say it's my long-standing colleague Carleen Robertson. Carleen and I go back 35 years, Carleen, I think.
Indeed.
You were at New College when I joined New College. Why did you go to New College?
Right, I'll tell you the answer to that, but it's not it's not the answer people might expect. I'm from Pitlochry originally. I didn't have any transport, and I worked out which university was the easiest to get to and from Pitlochry, and that is the honest truth.
Well, Carleen, I have to say to you, snap.
All right.
Because I wanted to know the university that was nearest the station,
Right.
and that's why I went
Yeah,
the
but
August.
best decision ever made lifelong friends, and we had some
Yeah, I thought
fabulous
New
tutors there.
College, it was an education you couldn't buy.
Absolutely.
You came to Newtile 33 years ago?
Gosh, yes, I'm in my 33rd year. It was
Wow.
a link charge then initially with EC and Navy, so I had the two churches.
And what is it now?
And now we are Strathmore Parish, which is Ardler, Kettins and Meagle, EC, Navy, Newtile and Glams.
You'll need to
That's
lie
four
down.
churches.
You'll need to lie down after you've listed that lot.
Yeah.
Over the years, you must have met many, many people and come across many, many situations. If I was to ask how you saw God working in your experience over the years, and maybe, dare I say, God not working in the same scenario, what would you
Yeah.
say?
I think in what seems initially small things, just like being able to help somebody. Um, and I think over the years, I've obviously changed and become more, I hope, approachable, more open, more welcoming to anyone and everyone. And I see God at work in, of course, people's lives in the church, but very much so with people that have nothing to do with the church. And they've obviously felt that I was someone they could approach in sad times and happy times, and I've definitely seen a spirit of some kind working there. I'm actually very much a Jesus person, and I don't talk about God so much. I've always been a Jesus person, and trying to make the church more like how He would imagine it, perhaps, or want it. And I think we've all become more open to trying to help other folk and making the church a welcoming place, and trying to follow His lead on welcoming those who others might not welcome,
Yeah,
for
I suppose
example.
that's the essence of parish ministry, isn't it?
Yeah, yes,
We work in the church, but we serve the parish.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
Talking of parish ministry, how do you see parish ministry, 33 years from now? Well, I won't be here. You're a tad younger than me. You might well be here.
You were too.
What do you think the Strathmore parishes will be like then?
Yeah, obviously, I don't know, but I'm also a part-time Presbytery chaplain. And so, I meet a lot of ministers, and not just in our own presbytery, but other colleagues who are struggling with workload because more and more is being added to them. Certainly, they're going into teams, and let's hope that works. It's at an early stage, but there's a huge pressure. But on the other hand, I'm very much for parish ministry, and I think the Church of Scotland is great that we're there for the whole parish and not just church members. So there's a bit of a dichotomy there. It's going to have to be different, and I think Martin touched on that. We're not going to be able to sustain all these churches even now that are still open, I think.
Mhm.
However, I was interested in his comments. I also like the idea of a larger building where people can just come, dip into, go. And I think there's been an increase, very much so, in cathedral type churches. I've seen
Okay.
an increase in people coming to worship because they can just go in and out at their own leisure kind of thing and not be asked to join this committee or that committee. And in my case, I would value the liturgy and the music of a place like that. So perhaps, I don't know, will there be just centres more, in different areas where
Okay.
more and more
It's
people would
interesting.
go to, perhaps.
It's certainly in many ways uncertain times,
very much so.
I guess. It strikes me, though, that it could well have been uncertain times for the past 2,000 years, and we're still here.
Exactly. Yes. I also have no worries about the faith because that's much bigger than all of
Yeah.
us. It's how we enact it all that will have to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that you are retiring at the end of August.
Yes.
You will leave the Strathmore parishes, and also from Eastern Old and Inverarity's
Mm.
context, you will stop being the interim moderator. What's next for you?
Well, the plan is to spend not quite half the year, but almost half the year in Cyprus because it's a place we've been going to for nearly 40 years, I think, and we have friends there and family there. So the week after I retire, we're off for 10 weeks or so. However, we're going to be living fairly local after that, near Blairgowrie, actually the holiday lodge
Okay,
complex, because we feel we don't need a huge base here because we'd like to be able to carry on renting in Cyprus
excellent.
for a few years.
And will you be doing pulpit supply?
Uh, well, I won't be doing anything this side of Christmas because I'll not really be here much. Um,
As I
maybe,
said, listen, as I said to Martin, you wait till you see your pension, then answer that
yes.
question. I said,
I'm open to helping out. I think because of going to go abroad quite a lot, I'll not be able
yeah,
to do what you're doing and be a locum.
yeah,
If I can help out on some Sundays that I'm in the area, then sure,
excellent. Is there a church? There isn't a Church of Scotland in Cyprus.
No, there's Church of England, so I would think that was where I would go because as I sort of hinted at earlier, I'm very into liturgy anyway,
Like the
so somewhere like
liturgy.
that would suit me quite
Yeah.
well.
Okay, well, look, Carleen, this is just a kind of dip into one or two thoughts. On behalf of Eastern Old and Inverarity, I wish you all the best. And on behalf of Christian and myself, thank you for your friendship and your support over these last 32 years or so, and in particular your commitment to the West Angus area ministry,
Yes,
which
we didn't
was
touch on, but it was very much part of our ministry together.
a
Yeah,
forerunner of teams.
yeah.
All the best and
Thanks,
enjoy
Malcolm.
Cyprus,
Thank you.
and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Malcolm.